Sasquatch Mom, and we are finally back out in the woods. And looky, I have Caspian, and somewhere back there is Sam getting ready. We are at a place I like to call the Spot. This is one of the first places we had some great experiences at, hearing howls and whoops and so forth, and also gunshots. If you look in one of my episodes, you will find out all about that. I'll put that in the description below. But anyway, we are happy to get out in the woods on this beautiful, fine April afternoon, and no doubt it will turn into a night hike. All right, so as I always say, we will see what we will see. Caspian is enjoying the snow. Probably the last time for the season. So we have made contact with some sort of creature. There are a bunch of deer down there, a bunch of does, and I'm not sure we've seen much deer. There they go. There they all go. Bye-bye, does. Now we're passing by somebody's homemade fort type of place. We find it kind of spooky because, you know, you never know if there are fugitives, drug runners, anything could be out in these mountains. But it sure seems to deteriorate over the years. All right, so we're heading down this. Sam says he doesn't want to go off trail, but we'll see. But we are enjoying ourselves on this beautiful spring day. So we've come to this draw or gully, whatever you call it, that has a teepee. Now, one of our friends thinks that was made by Bigfoot. In fact, her son may have seen one when we were out here in the snow, but we don't know. Anyway, we've gone down that before, but this is definitely a squatchy area where we've experienced a lot of interesting vocalizations. So we're gonna go up that hill. So Sam is going to do a tree knock. I don't hear anything, but the one time we did that when our friends were here and we heard a response, so that was why I wanted to do that. Okay, well, we're going to go on. Here is why I call this place the Spot. That's because right here is where on Halloween night several years ago we heard howls coming from that direction, and I'm not talking about coyote howls, although we've heard that around here too. But this is where we definitely heard them. And again, look below and you'll find that video in the description. That was quite an adventure. So I'm not sure where Sam wants to go from here. We could go onward on the trail to the next place, I guess you would call it. So we will see what happens. Very steep, and the first time we came up it, we heard coyotes over in that direction, so I call it the Coyote Trail. And it heads to some woods over there that we like to call the Washington Woods because it's so thick. But we're going this way. We're going to try to find the end of this trail. I don't think that we've ever found it. Usually we go off trail before this. Sam, like I said, wants to stay on trail, and he found a big stick. I think that he's going to try to do a tree knock. Ouch! Dog is comforting him. Shh! I just heard one. Back that way somewhere. Back that way somewhere. It was a definite tree knock. I just heard a thud. It's over that way. Shh. What? Oh. Ow. Well, it's really thick. It's about where I heard it from. More like this way. But it was a definite. Yeah. I mean, that is thick as can be.
All around that side. We've never gone down here.
Right.
Maybe we should go down there.
Ooh. Today?
I could go down.
Thought you weren't gonna go off trail. It's what?
There's a lot of vegetables.
Oh. That would be hard to see with a pine needle.
There's a trail though. That, look at the tree.
What?
Look at that big thing over there. Look right there.
Yeah.
Looks like a huge grizzly bear.
I should hope not. It's just a tree root. A root ball. So much for not going off trail.
We've never been on this side.
Huh?
We've never been on this side.
No. So we came partially down this hill, and we've been having our snack and giving the dog some treats. But you can see that it goes down there. It's pretty wild. But I think that we're gonna go across that way, kind of paralleling the hill, if I can speak. And ever since we got here down here we haven't heard anything else. So we will see or hear what we see or hear. I came to the top of the ridge. It was quite a climb. And the trail is over that way. Down there is really thick. Now we did hear some gunshots. There's a gun shooting range over that way, but I don't think that's what I heard. And I heard that tree knock, whatever it was, from over that direction. So I don't know. We'll have to see when I watch the video, listen to the video again. But oh, and Caspian is having such a good time. He's found his usual stick. All right, so we're gonna head over to the trail. What?
Let's see what's over here.
Oh, I guess we're exploring more. Yeah. We're now at the edge of this ridge, which is pretty much the end. I don't think I want to go down this. What? Huh?
Look at this mossy tree.
Oh.
Oh wait,
What?
look at this.
It's stuck in the ground?
Yeah. Sometimes you'll find sticks like that just sitting out next to a tree.
You know, there might have been one like that up there. I didn't check if it was stuck in the ground. Interesting. Whoa, just about lost the camera. Huh. So who did that? Those are guns. Now there is... Sorry, I have gloves on, so it's not so easy. But I do see down there, it looks like maybe a twist. A bent tree thing, whatever. My words, I'm not using my words very well. But that is interesting down there. See if I can focus in on it. There it is. So now we're in this holler, and we came from up there. The trail might be up there. Sam has a good map, so hopefully he doesn't get lost, but sometimes with shortcuts I feel like it's kind of like Frodo and them when they took the shortcut to mushrooms in Fellowship of the Ring. In fact, oh, there he is. So, I don't know what we're doing from here. We're further down in this gully, and I tested this tree limb, and it is definitely manipulated. It is stuck in the ground there. And now I'm going to check out over here. Of course, I got the sun in my face. Let's see what these are on this big, interesting rock. Whew. Let me just... I'm just checking these limbs out. I don't know. This may be stuck there. I can't tell if it's been manipulated or not as I trip. Yeah, I'm not going that way. That has been placed there, or fallen there, or whatever. But the ones that are stuck in the ground, that's a real head shaker. Okay, so the trail is way up there, but I gotta go around this rock. And here is another one of those trees that are just stuck in the ground. Whew, very interesting. Sam is down that way. I don't know what we're doing. And there is a pretty good tree break. And I guess we're gonna go down the gully and hope that the trail comes down, because look at that. I don't wanna climb up that. We are gonna have to do a lot of climbing when we get to the trail. Okay, here we go. We're following this game trail that parallels the gully, and the trail is probably up that. So I keep finding these sticks that are in the ground next to big trees, which I find interesting. And we will see what happens when we get down here, because we got to go up and to the left at some point soon, because as you can see, the sun is setting. All right, so I'm going to have to duck my head because of this tree branch. All right, well, we will see what happens. So we're almost to the bottom of this, and then I see this bow tree, but the ridge up there is coming way, way down. But I'm wondering, there's another small trail that goes along these ridges in this valley, and I'm wondering if that's over here, but I don't know. So Sam and I are going to talk about it and see what we do, because it would be good to get to some trail before it gets dark. So Sam is going to the bottom of this gully to explore, and he's left me here for bait. No, I'm kidding. But we got our walkie-talkies, so, and the dog chose him over me. Anyway, so I'm just gonna sit here and see what happens. Just wait for him, because I don't want to go down enough. My feet are hurting. And I found out as we were coming down here that I got a notification that Sam got a logo job. So that's pretty neat. And he made some progress with a membership site that he worked on. Everything is so much better since a month ago. We have 5 contracts now, and we have more estimates to do, including a really huge one. So such a huge difference from even a month ago. I feel so blessed, and now it's Holy Week and looking forward to Easter, and looks like we're gonna have some family over. So anyway, it's all just, we're in such a better place than we were a month ago, and I just want to thank you all for praying and for wishing us well. The challenge now is keeping up with everything, but I'd rather do that than worry about where the next job was coming from. All right, so I'm just gonna turn this off and be quiet and listen. So now Sam called me into this valley, and as you can see, it's quite a large one. And we came from there, and there is elk spoor. I've seen that all over. And over here is a trail. And I'm pretty sure that that's the same one that goes up and down this valley. It goes up there, but we want to go this way. And I'm sure that it intersects with several of these fingers. These, I don't know what you call them other than fingers. And that they'll go up to those ridges and eventually to the ridge that we want to get back on into the trail to get to our car. Whew. But I'm happy that we did find the trail. So we're going to go that way. So now we've come to another valley, and then beyond that, I know this keeps going for quite a few miles, way even beyond the other place we usually go to, which is the ridge. When I get home, it'll be fun to look on Google Earth to see how this all works together. But you can see that there's a big ridge there, and then another valley is up that way. But I'm thinking it's going to be a choice between a long, slow climb or a very steep, quick climb. But we will see what happens. And then there is a creek here. That's another thing I remember about this trail. But we've never been this far. And then there's another valley up that way. Sam does not think anybody had been down that draw before. So he said he felt like a pioneer, but look at that valley. All right, so I'm gonna keep going down this way and we will see what happens. Here are 2 snap-offs that Sam found. Interesting. So we're gonna keep going down this way. Now that is a pretty dramatic snap-off right there. And it's very high up in the air. That's definitely taller than I am, for sure, a lot taller. So that's kind of interesting. But I am hearing a road pretty close by. Okay, so we're gonna keep going up this way. I just came across a carcass. My guess is what, a deer?
Yeah, look. That's a deer.
Oh yeah. Poor thing.
It's probably been dead since the winter is starting to thaw out.
You can see the bones spread out everywhere. Yeah, look at that leg right. Oh yeah, there's one right here. There's a hoof right there. Wow. Yep, well, that's what happens.
Cycle of life.
Yep.
There's the spine.
Right.
And look at that leg.
Yep.
There's another one.
Yeah, I know, I saw that. There's something else down there too.
Bones, probably.
Well, yeah. Don't know if it's jaws or what. Yep, that's... Poor thing. But that's the way it goes around here. Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, oh my.
Oh my. I was like, you saw an elk or something.
No. No. That was just a carcass cry. Okay, well, what else can we see while we go back? So Sam found this interesting limb that's been broken twice. Once here and twisted, and then it goes along there and broken over there. Yeah, so that is I'm pointing that way, I don't know. So, but we talked about going up that way to find this other trail, but I feel more comfortable following this one. And besides, as I was saying before, I don't think Sam heard me. If we go up the main trail, it's long and steep. If we go up the Coyote Trail, it's steeper, but it's quick. Or there's other gullies we can go up. But it is definitely getting dark, and I'm gonna have to get my lights together soon. So as Sam pointed out, that way is west. I thought we were going south. We need to get across this and up that ridge, and that's where the trail should be. So he's trying to find a way across. But yeah, I totally goofed. It's a good thing I have Sam, because I would have been lost. Of course, I would never come out to the woods by myself. But that's the last thing I wanted to do was bushwhack through up the mountainside, up the ridge in the dark. But here we are. Well, we wanted an adventure. And there is a snap down there that Sam found. Oh my gosh, I need to tie my shoe. It continually come loose, and as he said, is pointing toward the trail. Interesting. So we made it up the ridge, and sure enough, the trail is here. We are on it. And we have to go that way, and it's gonna wind around. And I'm guessing on the other side of that ridge over there. I don't know, but you could see Woodland Park over there. on Pikes Peak. Boy, that would make a beautiful picture in the daytime. But in the meantime, somehow I'm getting texts from Travis, my husband, saying that he burnt dinner. Oh, yay. He's probably wondering where we are. But thanks to Sam, we know where we are.
Did you say that you messed up?
I'd be like Willow Creek, Bryce Johnson, the actor, when he did Willow Creek. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, at least we know we're on the right trail. And it's a matter of making our way back to the car. Whew, here we go.
So far, I've only had to fix it once.
Okay, I'm gonna do a video.
Just show you.
Okay. We got to the top of a hill and found a nice log to sit on, had a snack. I'm a softie and gave Caspian some of my sausage sticks. Had a good gulp of water. Tied my shoes. Wish somebody would invent something to keep boots from getting loose. Anyway, we probably are out, what, an hour? Maybe? We'll see. We have a ways to go, and did I mention this before, how Travis burnt the dinner? Oh well, he burnt the dinner. He burnt acorn squash in the air fryer. I told him to throw it away, to not worry about it. Told him to go to bed because he has a early morning meeting in Denver. And here we are, out in the woods. We are definitely getting a taste of a night expedition. We're seeing amber lights.
Okay.
We're seeing a pair of them.
No, yeah.
One over there.
There's one here, one here.
Okay.
Oh, I gotta look around.
Yeah, those lights are moving around like eyeballs. All right,
Caspian,
let's.
can you watch them? I'm gonna do the dog out.
Okay. So we finally got to what we call the spot with the fire rings, where we heard the howls on Halloween years ago, and those eyes, they were moving. What the pair of eyes you saw, were they moving?
I think so.
And you said they were moving toward us?
No.
To the side. So they could have been flanking us. I kept saying, like Sam said long ago, we're just tourists passing through. Prayed to the Holy Spirit for protection. But who knows? I mean, they're quiet. They're masters at disguise. Did they let us see them on purpose? If they were indeed Bigfoot, what else could they have been? That was pretty tall from where we were. And the eyes are huge and they're amber. Okay. So we have less than a mile to go. And I am anxious to get home. All right. Wow, what an adventure. That is the most beautiful sight ever. The lights of our car. And there is a full moon coming up over there. A harvest moon. And we have not heard or seen anything except for maybe paranoid flashes of light. But every single muscle hurts, especially my upper thighs. It's like pain. So, but I am very glad to almost be at the car, and I did get my full moon experience. We made it back to the car. Every single step I took was pain, and Sam is in a lot of pain. That is a brutal trail. So I don't know how far we came, like a couple miles. I don't know, I have to check my steps. But Sam said when he saw a pair of lights, he saw both pair of lights. I only saw one. The pair of lights he saw was, one was amber and one was blue. And those lights were moving. Now, I mean, they were obviously eyes moving. Now, if we were really really dedicated, we would go back there in the daytime and do a test, but I don't think I can handle that trail again. We need one of those 3-wheelers, 4-wheelers, whatever. So anyway, that was quite the adventure. I think that's the most thrill we've ever had. Do you think? Yeah. So, but we weren't going to stick around. Figured that they were curious and wanted to know why we were in their territory.
We'll be blowing up that image to see what we can see in there.
Yes, definitely. All right, so we're headed home. Hopefully Travis isn't worried about us because it's 10:35 now. We started out at what, 4 something? Yeah, it was after 4. I don't know when we got here, but anyway, what a time. Okay, so that's our adventure. That's all. This is Sasquatch Mom. Have a squatch-tastic day, or night in this case. So I am going to explain to you what happened. When we got home that night, we found out that we actually had at least 3 sets of eyeballs following us when we were, I think, sitting on a log and looking east towards Woodland Park. Like I said, we only discovered that after we got back. And what I'm going to do is go through some close-ups that I prepared for you so that you can actually see what's going on. So in this first slide I'm going to show you, it is at that moment when we were sitting on a log, unaware that we were being observed. So there are at least 3 sets of eyes that are following us, maybe 4 if you look on the lower side of the screen where I have something circled. I am not sure. Now, excuse the dust, because what I did when I actually took photos of the movies on my computer, I took movies of the movies, and so unfortunately all the dust showed up on my computer screen. I guess it's time that I clean it off. But there were definitely 3 sets of eyeballs at least looking at us. This is the set on the right of the screen. This is the one on the left. This is the one in the middle. I believe this is the one on the left. Now this part of the video stunned us. You can see the eyes moving around. Whatever it is, it turns its head completely around. This is not an action of an owl, not an action of a deer. It is behind a tree. It seems up high. So it's definitely something very, very different and, might I say, agile. That was probably the most spooky thing that we saw. And of course, we didn't even know that it was looking at us. This is the one in the middle, and you can see that the eyeballs are definitely moving. It was watching us. And here's another shot of it in the middle. So you can see how it's bright. Now again, I have all these dust mites, but look at that. I did a close-up, and of course at this point I'm panning around, but you can see that actually it's a set of eyeballs. They kind of come and go and they look around. So that again, this was when we did not know that we were being looked at. See? Wow. Look at those eyeballs go around. It's just so creepy. And this is the same set, and you can tell that it's to the right of the tree as far as I can tell. This is the one to the right. If you look on the right hand of your screen, you will see that, and you can see that it does indeed move. It was really hard for me to find these spots, but look at that. It is moving. Wow, look at that. Whew. Now here's the one in the middle again, and at this point I'm panned away. Now I pan back. I need to learn to steady the camera, or not steady the camera, but to stay in one place for longer. I tend to do this. I am learning as I go. So there we are. It's just always there watching us. Pretty creepy. And I think that might be another one at another, on the other side. And all of these are behind trees. Who knows how high they are? That's something that we need to determine. We need to go back there, but it's going to be really painful because that trail is tough. We're still sore from hiking that, and that was over a week ago. So this was just, and at this point I'm saying, oh, well, we're getting a Bigfoot expedition. Oh, yeah, we got a Bigfoot expedition, big time, and we didn't even know it. So at this point, this is where we see the Eyeshine for the first time. This was 15 minutes after I took that last video. So there's the pair, one of the pairs that we see. I think that's the pair that I see. They were amber, they were large, they were turning around, and Sam saw a blue pair. I think that's the pair he saw, but there we discovered there was a third pair actually. So, and then I'll tell you more later. So that's what we saw, and then we were very, very nervous when we saw that Eyeshine because it was classic Bigfoot sighting story about seeing Eyeshine. And we didn't want to stick around and be a statistic of people that are lost in the woods. And we also didn't want anything to happen to our dog. All we knew is that we were probably facing some predators and we had to get out of there as fast as we could. So Sam wanted to get the dog corralled because he was loose at the time, and we got him all corralled, and I did my panning. I need to learn. I was just so panicked, honestly. It was such a strange experience. But yeah, it would have been nice if I had just focus on one pair of eyes, because I could not see the ones that Sam was viewing. I could not ever find that. So anyway, we were in a great deal of panic at that point, and we didn't want to become a missing 411 statistic, so we hooked it out of there. And yes, we have determined that we have to go back because we cannot tell how tall that Eyeshine was. We probably should look for footprints, all of that stuff, but we do know that that was not deer. We have seen plenty of deer Eyeshine, and is also certainly not as low as a deer or even a coyote, so it can't be a deer or can't be a coyote. I don't think that they're owls because of the way the head was moving. I don't think so. I don't think it was a cougar. Again, that would be too low to the ground. So, was it a bear? Would bear act like that and three of them staring at us? I don't know. But Sam said that he saw them flank us for maybe a minute. They were definitely following us, and then at some point, I think they dropped off when we got up to the spot. I don't think they were there, but I don't know. If you want to go back through the videos and see if you can find any more Eyeshine or any shadows, please do that and let me know. Now, Sam is planning on taking some screenshots that I have worked on, or that I gave him, and he's planning on doing something else. So I might make that a separate video so that I can go ahead and publish this, because I want to get this out before we go to Estes Park. We're supposed to leave on Friday and go to the Bigfoot conference. And if you haven't heard, I was featured on Bigfoot Society, and I just want to give all those a shout out who subscribed from that. Thank you for joining this adventure. I just never know what's going to happen. And I also want to give a big announcement that I have now, hopefully at this time, launched a Patreon membership sign. So if you have enjoyed this channel, if you would consider just giving a little bit of coin, we would surely appreciate it as we struggle to have the funds to do the research. It's a lot of on our bucket list, especially of supplies to buy. So anyway, just if you want to, and I will have some products there. I have actually a product that Sam took a photograph of Pikes Peak. So if you would, even just join the Patreon for free, I would be most grateful. We both would. So again, we're going to have to go back there. We did scout out a place that we thought that we could enter from the western side, but unfortunately it was a private road, so there is no way. It's going to take us a lot of time to get back there, and there's a lot of hills. It's just full of ridges. But I think I might have found, I got this map, I found a map app that had a little bit better of a trail markings, and I think maybe if we made this big loop through one of the valleys, the valley that I thought we were in, but we were not, we could make that loop and maybe go up that valley. It might be easier than going up that path because it's brutal. I'm telling you, I'm still sore. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this. This has been a thrilling adventure. I can't tell you for sure that it was Sasquatches, but it sure does fit the profile. All right, well, again, I'm going to say this is Sasquatch Mom. Have a squashtastic day.